Yo, what's going on, guys? Eagle Talks Football, and I'm back again with another video. And today's video is honestly, I wanted to delay this one. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to delay this one because I was thinking to myself, I could avoid the smoke. I could avoid the smoke for as much as possible. But I think it's that time, unfortunately. Arsenal lost to Manchester City. Manchester United bottled a 2-goal lead away at Tottenham. Interesting. Liverpool won a game for the third successive time. And we got Chelsea lost another one. We're going to talk about the top six. We're going to talk about everything else. And we're going to preview two games, Liverpool versus Spurs and Arsenal versus Chelsea, all on today's show. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Can Arsenal still win the league? I guess we'll have to find out, ladies and gentlemen. But for me, yes, people. What's going on? It's Eagle Talks Football, and I'm back again with another video. Today, I got Rakesh in the building. I got Hamza in the building. We got what happened there? We got Bice coming through in a second. We got Jay coming through in a second. We're gonna have another one coming through. It's just a whole party of everyone trying to roll through, trying to have their say. Staffy's gonna try to jump in also. You might even be shocked. There might be another City fan trying to jump in also. But for now, hope everyone's doing well. Big up to everyone in the chat. I don't know where everyone is. Where is everyone? Hamza, you there?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm just putting it up. That's it.
Well, all right, whenever you're ready, get ready, bro. Man United bottled a 2-goal lead today. Entertainment. We're gonna have to talk about Man United bottling their 2-goal lead. George saying, "What's good?" Did I tell you about that Mikel Rogers? Mikel Rogers, what are we doing? Are we calling Brendan Rodgers and Mikel Arteta combined? Is that what it is now? Mikel Rogers. Hamza's loving life because City won. And then we got can you talk about Chelsea? Yeah, we have to talk about Chelsea. Chelsea lost again. When is Chelsea gonna win a game? When Chelsea wins a game, we can talk about Chelsea be in a positive light. I've never believed in the first place. Oh, you never believed in the first place. You're quoting me what I said to Brendan. Hamza, you bald fraud. I'm sorry for reading that, Hamza. I'm sorry for reading that. Uh, Herb, we
He's
got
not.
Alex.
That's definitely sorry, not sorry.
We got Alex saying big up. Yo, guys, Alex said Chelsea next season will finish above Arsenal.
Alex, I love you, man. Alex always
Wallah.
bring the banter.
Oh, that Isaac assist. That's why we wanted Isaac. Wallahi, he's a
That was good.
baller. Newcastle have an absolute gem on their hands. But yo, there's only one way to begin. There's no way around it. There's no way to cover it up. And you want to know something? The worst part about it is there's so many people missing. Every time they join, they're going to want to talk about it. So can we save the Man City Arsenal for 1 minute? And let's talk about Liverpool winning a game first, because then we can get that out of the way, Rock. Because let's be honest, a lot of people probably don't want to talk about the Liverpool win. Most people want to start with the Arsenal win.
Not even me. I'm not. I don't really have to talk about it either. To be fair.
Well, what happened in the Liverpool game quickly so we can get it out of the way?
I mean, West Ham aren't very good. We were marginally better. They took the lead with a good strike from long distance. I thought Allison probably should have done a bit better. But we dominated territorially, and West Ham didn't really have that much. Although to be fair, Bowen nearly scored a goal. Well, he did score, but it was offside, marginally offside. And but overall, I thought we deserved the victory. But you know, yeah, not really a great game, to be fair. But it is what it is. We got the win.
Curtis Jones here saying, yes, Rock, talk about how I created the most chances yesterday in the final third. Curtis Jones was good, wasn't he?
Well, the thing is, like, obviously Curtis Jones has been getting a lot of heat in the last year or so, and people were saying that he's not good enough. And he's still got it all to prove. It's this is by no means redemption, but who knows? Maybe it could be the start of something. I don't know. I have my doubts, but I'm not going to. But I'm not gonna castigate a youngish kid. Let's see what he does in the next year, maybe couple of years. If he becomes a decent squad player for Liverpool, that's all I ask for from our homegrown players mostly.
And you know what? We're gonna talk about Liverpool Spurs later. So for now, let's just
one little hint. Actually, you know what? That's fine. I'll save the Curtis Jones. Are we going straight to Arsenal United? Are we going straight to Arsenal City?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, listen, I got time. You got let me put my agendas to one side. Let's talk about you, baby boy. It's your time to shine.
There you go. We're good. Hamza, you go. You're in the middle. You started off.
Listen, I lost my voice. I was at the game. I milked every part of that. And Arsenal fans felt it. They felt it. I'm telling you now. I loved it. Let me tell you, it was men against boys. Or men against children. I'm telling you the truth. There's level to this game, Arsenal fans. Wake up. 20 years of misery continues. Next year will be 20 years. 19 is guaranteed. Give up. Put your hand up. Now it's finished. It's finished. It's finished. There's no way. What the Fulham game. What the Everton game. You made the mistake. I'll tell you one thing. I'm going to be arrogant. This is the easiest title race I've ever been involved in. Why? Yeah? Why? I'm not arrogant. The Man
You just said you were going to be arrogant, and now you're saying you're not arrogant.
No. Yeah.
Listen,
the duality of a man.
The United one.
Yeah.
I needed a Aguero moment. I was losing the league title. Yeah. I was scratching my head. I couldn't believe it. Oh my God. We're bottle jobs. We're Tottenham Hotspur.
Okay, well, you know what? You had me until then, Hamza. You had me until then, Hamza. Let's stay on topic, Hamza. Let's stay on topic.
Yeah, okay. Then we had the Aguero moment. It changed our club. We had that belief that we will never give up till last minute because we had that victory against the greatest coach ever. We humiliated him. His boys thought they had the trophy and it was taken away. The greatest moment in Premier League history was mine. Then last year...
It's not the greatest moment in Premier League history. You're
by far. Greatest moment in Premier League history. By far. No, by far. There's no question. We don't need to...
It's a good debate. It's a good debate.
Rakesh.
I think there's a fair shout for that, to be fair.
Liverpool was next. They tried it. Last year, they took me to the last game of the season. They chased me down. It's Hamza. We're going to do a boxing match. We're going to do 12 rounds. We're going to do 12 rounds, yeah?
We took you to the last 15 minutes. 15 minutes.
Right. You told me if it's a boxing game, we will do 12 rounds. And I went 12 rounds with you. It was hard. Rax was hard. Rax, I needed that little jab and all that. And I saw you fall down. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God. I can't believe it. Again. And I did it. This one was the easiest. I beat them. Aggregate. 7-2. Easy. Didn't need to sweat. Battered them 3 games. FPK knocked them out.
Hamza, is this...
One shot on target. That's how arrogant I became. I knew. I said it.
Hamza, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Is this the worst title decider you've ever seen? Because I know you had a lot of football knowledge.
It's the easiest.
It's the worst one, right?
It's the easiest.
Can I just say one thing, Hamza, on that? Because the thing is I appreciate we don't win anything here at Spurs. You know that. That's not what we do here. That's what we're here for pressure and vibes. You know. Last season, Arsenal played Spurs in a top 4 decider. Funnily enough, last season, Partey was injured, and Arsenal fans were like, oh my God, woe is me. You know, Partey's injured. Tierney's injured. Oh my God, woe is me. Tierney's injured. Now, this season, it was, oh my God, woe is me. Saliba's injured. So, to me, it seems like they always seem to have an excuse. But aside from that, game went down similarly because last season, they lost by 3 goals. This season, they lost by 3 goals. The common theme is they go to a team in a match and they think they can go toe-to-toe with that team regardless of anything. It's an arrogance that Mikel has. He's going to be a great manager, but that arrogance he's got to not modify his tactics because of what he's seen in front of him, I think that's going to stop Arsenal. What do you think, Hamza?
Listen, my guy was a corn man. I told you. He used to put corns with my football club. I love it. I'm gonna milk it. He was putting corns for my football club. It was, as my friend said today, a Liverpool fan. He said, "You know what? You know when you're a chef, you make that great meal." But that guy, he was cutting onions and he was putting the meat outside. But he ain't a cook. I was the cook. Pep was the cook. Pep was the one that was making that nice meal. Pep told me, listen, after you peel the onions, after you peel the tomatoes and you put it outside the bin, I will teach you how to boil the water. He left before he had completed his apprentice. Yeah, we had them on ropes. Yesterday, I knew. I said it to Igal. 25th of December, Igal called me. I was driving. Hamza, we're going to win this league, whether you like it or not. Have you seen the way you're playing? I said to Igal, I've been there before. Igal, I don't fear you. Igal, you're Arsenal. You can't do it. I told you yes or no, Igal. I promised you. You said Arsenal will do it, Hamza. Arsenal have got this. You've made the mistake. Look what Jesus. Look at it. I said these were bench guys, man. There's a reason why I gave them you. There's a reason why I gave them Zinchenko and Jesus. Now the story is making out. You see, I was ahead of the game. This game, they came to this game as a bottle job. Liverpool's worst game, worst team. They bottled a 2-0 lead. West Ham, 2-0 lead, bottled it. 3-1 down against young Southampton team. I call them, they're the youngest team in the Premier League. Lavia and all that. They're the youngest. They came there and they took a 3-1 lead. A primary school. That's like a little primary school. We beat them 4-1 two weeks before that. They came there. They shamed you up. I go, you came to my ground. I saw the picture on the bus. Arteta was like dazed. He didn't want to come to Manchester. But the bus driver was like, yo, the fix is going. We're going to Manchester. We're going. I tell you, you can't. But I was like, I was prepared for that. Right. I knew it. They turned up to Etihad. Yeah. Fear. They were fearful. Let me call out the boys.
Hamza, you did a video of Partey before. He looked nervous.
Partey looked stiff.
Partey. What's the song, Hamza? What's the song? Partey.
These guys were doing yoga before the game. I was like, yo, they time for yoga. Listen, Partey was like, bro, I said, I knew it. Their fan base were yeah? Let the game start.
You can't stop him.
Let me breathe for a second. Let me breathe for a second. Let me read a comment for a second. My guy, bad guy, and somebody else has a comment. First of all, we got a Liverpool fan here saying, if Arsenal finish above Arsenal next season, 1,000 to Egal TV. I'll take that. If you're gonna give me 1,000, if Arsenal finish and I don't have to give nothing, fair enough. I'll remember this.
Yeah, that's
an onerous, one-sided bet for no reason. I feel like
listen.
Yeah.
If that's what it is what it is. I respect the super chat. Big up.
There's the witnesses here.
Big up, Billy. Arsenal better finish above Liverpool next season. I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna tweet it out. I have record of it. Big up. Hamza is shameless. We all know the Gooners until a year ago. He knows they are corrupt sports washing team. Wow, that's harsh. Come on, you can't do that. You can't do that.
Why? It's true.
Whoa. Okay, we're not gonna get into that right now, right? Because we don't want to put my guy Hamza in a bad spot in case Man City come knocking and say now he can't be on he can't be on their content because he said something crazy. Let's not do that. Barstool, Hamza. What? You're a Barstool now?
No, I don't know what he says, but oh yeah, because of the troops thing, he called me Bastro Hamza.
Okay, and he said his bottle job babies. Yo, bad guy, you're always on this energy. Bad guy last week was a Man United fan. Now he's a Man City fan. It's mad.
Maybe
yo,
it's Hamza.
So the game
Super
started. Let's
Hamza,
talk about the game.
Hamza, before you go back in the game, I'm just gonna say we didn't show up. We absolutely bottled it. Partey was poor. The defense was poor. The midfield was poor. The attack couldn't get going. You guys absolutely outclassed us. Kevin De Bruyne showed what a world-class midfielder looks like.
Do you think by going quickly through this that we're just gonna this is okay? This gives
no. I am just gonna say let me get my frustration out, and then you can say yours, right?
Okay.
I think Mikel Arteta cost us that game by not making any substitutions or changes prior to the game. I thought he should have made some changes before the game. Everyone's talking about this team. It was your only chance to win a league title. Now it's done. Guess what? The league campaign might not be done because Man City are probably going to go on and win it, but it's not done yet. The reality is it's not done yet, but Man City are going to probably go on to win it. I'm just going to say this team is nowhere near its end product. This is just the beginning. Everyone's making it seem like this is it. This is the only chance Arsenal have. Everything went our way. This is like a Leicester season. No, none of those things are actually remotely true.
What's the difference between 2009 season?
This team is a young core that has progressed year in, year out. The next step in the progression is to probably get into the semifinals or quarterfinals of the Champions League and still.
I beg your pardon.
That's the reality.
What's the difference between 2009 season? What's the difference between 2009 season?
1 second. I'm giving you guys the end of season conversation at this point, because the reality is, if everyone's going to tell me my season's over, I might as well start telling you what my expectations are for next season, because this season might be done, but next season we have to push on. We have to try to win trophies. We have to go and push again and compete for the league and maybe try to win it. And when it comes to Champions League, I have high ambitions. Obviously, I want to win it eventually, but next season, I know you're probably not going to win it your first season back in after 6 years. First, you have to at least get out of the group stages. Get into the semi. I think this Arsenal team is good enough to potentially get into the quarterfinals and aim for maybe an ambitious target.
What if you meet Spurs in the quarterfinals?
Listen, the difference.
I know. I should worry about the winning the game.
The difference between last year and this year. I mean, last year and this year is we got dramatically better. We bought better players and we improved the squad.
You got. Hold on, man. Hold on. Please, I can't allow this nonsense to go on anymore. You have a manager that doesn't even want to play his best players in the Europa League. So you're coming in here acting like you have any experience to take you further than the group stage and all that, when you didn't even take the Europa League seriously, and you can't even get to a semifinal of the cup or a quarterfinal of the cup. What round did you get eliminated?
I don't think he didn't took it serious. I think he took it serious.
No, he didn't, bro. He was playing his bench until what? Until he played Sporting at home when they bottled the game and they lost on penalties. This guy has no experience going into European games midweek, knowing he has to play his strongest 11. He's been getting away with like, okay, I'm gonna rotate this, rotate that, and in 3 years,
I disagree with that.
You can disagree,
they
but this
played
is
better when they had the 2 games a week than they had the 1 game a week.
Yeah, momentum.
They played better when they played 2-3 games a week than they play.
Well, that kind of proves my point.
Down.
Well, that proves my point, because I'm trying to say he should have been taking that tournament seriously. So going next year, it's his first time actually taking these midweek games more serious than he did, because you can't go into these group stage games. I'm gonna play Fabio Vieira. Oh, I'm gonna bench Jesus and I'm gonna play Nketiah. I'll take out whoever in defense and bring on Rob Holding and that stuff. They've been doing that for way too long. There's no evidence that they're gonna come in next year, and there's evidence that they should go far in the Champions League.
There's evidence that there's going to be progression.
The point
in the league, I don't care about the league. You could progress in the league.
They will strengthen. They're not going to not recruit.
Well, it depends. It depends if they do.
But do you think they're not going to recruit?
It depends on how they recruit, Rack. You look at the signings, some of the signings that they made.
Of course.
When they signed Fabio Vieira, what's the guy you signed in center back? I don't even know his name. The left center back who played at Liverpool.
Kivio or something.
However you say his name, there's some questionable signings that this guy keeps making. I don't think he's bringing in world-class talent that's going to take him into the next stage. He could. I'm not saying like it won't. But like we haven't seen anything. The best signing he's probably made this season was, in my opinion, Trossard. He was the best signing he's made all season. But there was circumstances to what he got him. There's no evidence also that he's going to go in the summer.
I can't believe I want to defend Arsenal and Igal in this situation, but I have to. I don't think it was. I don't think what you pictured is actually true at any kind of point, because they played better when they had the more games. They played better. They getting results when they had more games. Your point that he didn't prioritize, it's nonsense. He had to prioritize. Otherwise, he's going to have more injuries than what he already had.
I see Man City fighting on front ends.
Are you comparing Man City squad versus Arsenal? That's ridiculous too at the same point.
It's not.
We already know this.
I'm not comparing squads. Man City squad is even better. But even Man City won those small games in the group stages and all that, because we know every game can also almost be easy for City, but they take these tournaments way too seriously, and this is why they keep the momentum. You would say the only time they kind of bottled something this season was in the semifinal versus Southampton in the League Cup. Every other game they take serious, and this is why in this stage they have the most games. And they're playing elite football every game because they kept on the momentum. I didn't see Arsenal do that. I'm not disagreeing with you that their form fell off the minute they stopped playing European football. I agree with you.
Can I add something on the end of that? Because as well, this Manchester City style of play is a lot more sustainable. And obviously with them morphing and almost taking little bits from teams who've done well, even though I'm sure Pep could do it of his own, the baitingness of Brighton, baiting people to come onto you, press you so we can give you space. Obviously in terms of Liverpool's kind of work from goal kicks too. So I think from a basic point of view, Arteta got fully outcoached in this game.
Yeah,
absolutely outcoached. And it almost exposes in a little bit Arsenal's, I don't want to say their limitations, but the limitations with this current Arsenal squad.
And it could expose Arsenal in the future, Arsenal midfield in the future.
Absolutely, because basically what they've basically said is if you press Arsenal in a 4-2-4, 4-4-2 type way, they're going to have problems in terms of the dynamics because of where Zinchenko is going to try and go. So
you have, to add to your point, if you make the space a little bit bigger between Partey, Odegaard and Xhaka, just make it a little bit bigger. Spread the midfield. They're gonna have to choose what's the name? They made Odegaard make high risk pass, which he has to be on point.
Odegaard was just shit.
No. That's the beauty of the midfield. You think that he's shit because they made him look like, because they separated that midfield.
I'm not calling him shit in the sense he was bad in that game.
But Alex has nailed it because you're basically saying, what do you want Odegaard not to be able to do?
Exactly.
You don't want him to have the ball. You don't want him to be picking out runners. So what are you making him do? You're making him do cross country. You're making him press. You're making him do all the stuff without the ball.
You make him uncomfortable in his own position. That's it.
Everyone was bad.
No. But that's the point. Yesterday, what you saw was Jesus, uncomfortable conversations.
That's
Jesus
the big
shit.
problem.
I don't think he's shit. But let's not. Igal, you spoke very high. Let's talk about Jesus and Martinelli. Big match. Martinelli's getting subbed after 60 minutes.
1 second.
Yeah?
I think you're looking at the wrong people.
Hold on, you haven't even heard my point. Jesus, who you have championed. You have championed Jesus, yeah? The quality
He shouldn't have started.
Now, you're going to tell me, Igal, after you bought Jesus this summer, you need a new number 9 to lead you to the league. Answer me that question, please, Igal.
No, what we need is Mikel Arteta to be brave and to make the changes when needed. We could clearly see that Trossard would have been better suited to this game than Jesus.
I beg your pardon. So you mean to tell me that your £50 million striker should not start a title challenging game? Is that what you're trying to tell me right now?
Yeah, based on the 3 games before, man.
Based on merit, when you have players that are of the quality to rotate, you should rotate when need be.
Was one of them.
You don't play players based on the money you spent on them in January. You play them based on merit.
If you will keep the Jesus but put him on the wide, and he will win those battle against the defender versus Saka. Saka did not have a
why
sniff.
Martinelli.
Alex, because
one second, let me just say this.
You gotta listen to this. Because Jesus wouldn't be at Arsenal if Arsenal were playing him on the wing. He'll play on the wing for City. Like, you know, when Etu played on the wing for your Jose and stuff, he'll do that for Pep. But you can't tell me to come to Arsenal and play on the wing. That's not happening.
I think you way overreact over thinking that Jesus is not a. If he will start properly, he will switch to the wide.
Can we talk about Thomas Partey? Can we talk about Thomas Partey? Because I feel like you guys are talking about Odegaard. You guys are talking about Bukayo Saka, Martinelli, Jesus. Fair enough.
Everybody can get a
Fair
chance.
enough. But the main man, Thomas Partey, and you did a video, and if I could show everyone the video that Hamza posted prior to the game, Hamza posted a video, and when I seen the video, I'm like, yo, whoa, this is our defensive midfielder, the guy who's supposed to be able to play tight corners, do everything, hold on to possession. He's just not doing the simple things that we would expect from a 6, and it's just disappointing. To say the least, especially when we rate him so highly, especially when we champion so much, especially when we compare him to all these other great players. It's just, you look at Thomas Partey and you say to yourself, personally, I don't know if this experiment of him as a 6 is going to work in the long term. We might need to get someone who's a little bit more better with the close control, because he's not been doing it lately. He's been poor, and it's not just his touches, it's not just his defensive ability. It's not just his defensive ability. If you look at the pass that Odegaard made, Kevin De Bruyne tipped it around him, walked by him. He just strolled behind what do you call it? Haaland, as Haaland just passed it on to Kevin De Bruyne for the goal. And that was just indicative of how lazy he was. And you can't have him as a 28, 27, or however old he is, 29, however old he is, midfielder, leader in this, one of the older players in this team, just strolling after losing the ball.
You can tell that he hates playing without the ball. It's very obvious. In these games, because there's not a lot of these games where Arsenal were deprived of the ball. You only get that against Man City, and I can't really name so many other teams, because even when what's that?
You picture your images and moving.
Frozen.
You're frozen, but I can hear you talking.
Oh, I'm frozen? My bad. I don't know what happened. It's probably going to fix in a second. But no, I'm just saying, you can tell that Partey in these games where he doesn't have much of the ball, which I can't really name much outside of the City one, he just hates it, bro. The only reason he's been very good this season, not the only reason, like he's not a bad player, so I'm not going to talk here like he's shit or whatever. He's had a good season, but you can tell that most of the times, Arsenal, like 99% of the games, they would dominate the ball, and that's when he expresses himself the best. You look at his highlights yesterday. He did not want to track back. De Bruyne, the only reason De Bruyne had a masterclass is because he was moving way too much in front of that Arsenal defense. That was his only job. Him and Haaland were 2 men possessed yesterday. He was everywhere. And you see every time Partey looking behind him, I don't want to go drop like an extra 10 yards to go mark him, you know. And he's expecting Holden to pick him up or Gabriel. I think moving forward, because you guys are going to run into much tougher teams next year, especially when you're playing the Champions League, I think you're going to need another defensive midfielder who plays next to him, who's more of a destroyer, who's more of his job is like, you know, to do the dirty job. Because even we had Fred go when we played Man City earlier in our stadium. We had Fred just playing the whole game on De Bruyne. That was his only task. Just walk around with De Bruyne. If De Bruyne even goes to the bathroom in the locker room, you go with him. That's all he did for the game. Partey is not the man for the job. He wants to be on the ball and spreading all these balls around the pitch and whatever. But all that tracking back and all that shit, you can definitely see it's not his job.
Fair enough. Yo, Safi, just jump back in, okay? I'm just gonna.
I'm still frozen.
Yeah, you're still frozen.
All right.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Let it
But
go.
Igal, can I just say, like, and obviously,
Just before you go, Hamza, do you agree? Jesus is not a winger, not a striker. You're saying Jesus is not a striker.
Jesus, when he came from Palmeiras, I remember they were comparing him. I was reading about this. There's a guy called Tim Vickery. He writes very good article from Brazil, like in terms of South America.
I've
he's
heard
like
this
top
so many
tier.
times. Yeah.
Like whenever we sign a player, I read what he writes because he lives in South America as a BB. You know Rax, yeah? Tim Vickery.
Yeah, he lives in Brazil.
Right.
He's lived in Brazil for the last 25 years or something.
Yeah, so he knows. He's the guy that listens.
Big
So
up,
this
Jack.
guy was telling us that he's the next thing. He's a fantastic striker. We have to model it. But then there was rumors in Brazil after 2 years. He talked about it that he prefers to play as a winger now. And Jesus came out to say he prefers to play in the wing. That's last year, the year before that. He was saying
I
this.
thought he actually wanted to play striker. He wasn't
So City
okay
had
with
to
playing as a
accommodate
winger.
him. Yeah, City had to accommodate him and switch him around. That's why last year we were good because we didn't rely on Jesus only. We were getting goals from Sterling. We were getting goals from Bernardo, Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne, Foden was scoring. And that's why when people came out, oh, City can play without a number 9 because we knew he can't play as a striker. We knew he was not a Aguero replacement. We knew it wasn't. We tried.
And he was very good when we played you the 2-2 game at the Etihad. Jesus was brilliant. He was probably City's best player that game.
He goes on this game. Let me give you an example. He goes on this game, Rax, he scored 4 against Watford. Do you remember? Before Real Madrid game. Bang 4 against Watford. But then you look at that. Before that, he will have a goal drop. And then he will bang in 2 against Liverpool. So listen, he has great moments. Yeah, but you can't rely him as Haaland. You can't rely him as Harry Kane. You can't rely him as Rashford. Yeah, he's not that player. He needs people around him.
You know, when you said Rashford, Staffy smiled. You can see him smiling under his breath.
You know what he does?
No,
you know what he does? The biggest mistake he does, what he does, as a striker, if you analyze it, he doesn't stay in the striker position. He will go back, right back. He'll go left back. He'll chase that around. He'll go on the wing. And you're thinking, why are you not up? Do you see what I'm saying? When you get the ball, where's Jesus? He's on the right side.
This is why Brazil plays. This is why Brazil plays with Charlison in the World Cup.
1 second.
You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I feel like Jay's got his chance to cook Arsenal. Staffy's got his chance to talk. Everyone's got their chance to talk. We're gonna go to Alex and Rack, and then we're gonna talk about City for a second before we move on. Because I feel like City deserves a lot of respect. I'm just gonna say Manchester City, probably one of the best teams of all time if they go on to win this treble. That's the reality. If they go on and win the treble.
But Igal, when we were doing the combined teams of the season. And I was
There's barely any City players.
players in the team. You were throwing them out like confetti. You told me they didn't.
No. To be honest,
Alex, stop laughing.
Only 3 or 4 players you can actually say in the City.
Oh, you can clearly see Grealish is better than Martinelli. You can clearly.
No, he's not.
Bro, you can see the 2 of them on the pitch next to each other. There's a difference in quality. There's a difference in level.
There's a difference in the team. There's a difference in the shape. There's a difference in the impact.
Miguel, you can say Martinelli had a better season.
I was actually not critical of them how they lost because he was just at class. I think that Arsenal lost the battle three games before that. I saw the capitulation.
I agree. The mental battle.
I think we all agree on that.
There's something about when they played those 3 games, when those 3 draws came before the game, for some reason, I was like, there's no way. There's no way they can mentally fight Man City, especially the way Man City start to pick up the points, like they all of a sudden, and this is the biggest laugh is going to be about Arsenal fans. This is what I took from the whole situation. What would surprise me the most when they comparing the run that Arsenal has left until the end of the season versus what City had left. All the Arsenal fans were saying one thing: how City will drop the points. In the meantime, not a single one give the reasons why Arsenal cannot drop the points. That's my biggest thing for the people like Mo and everything. We're gonna win. City has that many finals to fight. City has that many games against that many oppositions. But nobody was from Arsenal stand. Nobody said one single thing how can Arsenal drop the points? And if you like the history to be taught, one thing I know for sure, I see City go on unbeaten runs for a long time. I saw Liverpool do it.
Yeah.
I saw Chelsea do it.
Mm-hmm.
When
You saw Arsenal do it twice this season.
No, but there's a difference between listen as a Spurs fan.
No. That's not what I'm talking
about. Doing it under pressure is different to doing it not under pressure.
To be fair, we've had a lot of pressure this season. Majority of the season, we've been top, and majority of the season, City's been behind us. The reality is, as much as everyone wants to say we haven't had pressure, the whole time we're like a marathon sprinter.
Thank you for giving me 30.
You guys know the London Marathon was on, right, recently, and every time they were panning to the number one person in the race, they were saying, "Oh, there's a lot of pressure being number one," because every time you look over your shoulder,
is that somebody that never been in a number one spot?
Alex, it's the pace setter.
Hold on a second. Is that number one marathon runner? Was this his first time being running in that space?
No, the pace setter drops out within the first minutes.
The question is if that's the first time he was in that forward position as a marathon runner in the first place.
I
bet you he wasn't.
Alex, let me just be very clear on this, yeah? And I've been very clear on this the whole time. I've heard Igal talk very spicy about this Arsenal team, yeah? Spurs
because you pushed me into it.
Spurs' team in 16-17.
The history of Jay.
Spurs' team in 16-17 had 86 points, yeah? I need you to get more than 86 points. That's also, Staffy, if you remember, the same amount of points that Mourinho got when he finished second with United. So I'm going to need this Arsenal team to finish above 86 points. Otherwise, we're going to have a very
86 points. That's going to be easy. That's literally like what?
It means you have to win 4 of the last 5 games.
That's nothing.
Well, they're
Jack Napper. You'll never have that, Jack Napper.
The most points they can get, the maximum points Arsenal are capable of getting is 90 right now.
Exactly.
So they would have to drop. They would have to drop.
So you can only afford to drop 4 points.
They can afford to lose 1 game. They can't lose 2.
The reality is now that the pressure's off, we're gonna go win all the games.
The pressure's not off, guys.
Are you?
This is the worst thing you can actually do right now.
We got to bounce back and beat Chelsea.
As somebody who's seen my team,
I thought we're supposed to give you parade, like the honorary parade, like honorary guard, or what we're supposed to do.
That's why. I was wrong.
Do you remember when Spurs finished third in the 2-horse race? Do you remember how you managed to finish second? Do you remember what happened? Oh, yeah. No. We lost the league, and then we went and got smashed by Newcastle. Because once you have not got the thing that you're trying to play for anymore, you'll be amazed how unfocused the players become.
Fair point.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
No. It's
Tuesday versus Chelsea. I want them to smash Chelsea 7-0. That's the reality.
Stop with that.
I need my blood. I need my revenge.
I will still gonna be the happiest fans out of this season.
We need to go. 1 second. We need to go smash Chelsea because we play Chelsea next. And before we go on to Chelsea or anything else, Hamza, do you have anything else to say about Man City? Because Erling Haaland, he broke the record.
Because I was going to say the key thing.
Kevin De Bruyne fucking loves scoring against Arsenal. What did we do to him as a child?
Okay, listen, I want to
nothing. I
don't know how you managed to.
Somebody said shit about
Listen, I want to say this. If we win the Premier League, it will be the biggest bottle job in Premier League history.
That's bullshit.
We won't let the race for 3 days. Bullshit. Yeah, wallahi. That's
bullshit.
We only led the 3 days. You've led the race for 93% of the season. Yeah, to bottle that will be the biggest bottle job in Premier League history.
That's why I asked the question that I asked you.
By 25th of December and go to the league. The biggest mistake you made, the biggest mistake your football club made is you threw the Carling Cup to Brighton. Yeah. You threw the FA Cup to Man City. You said it's okay because you want to concentrate. Then you bottled it against Sporting Lisbon. Yeah. And then you've come back here. You're bottling all the 4 trophies. You've bottled, and I blame your manager. I blame Mr. Arteta. You know why? Because the key thing to your kids is to know about winning. You have to take every trophy serious. When I got down to Southampton, I was like, what the hell? We have to go for the main trophies. I don't care. What's the point of playing the trophy if I'm not taking part in it? Champions League, we must win it. The Premier League, we must win it. You led the race for 93% of the season. You must end. You cannot start the race, be ahead close to the finish line, and then you just fall on the floor next to the finish line, and you say to me, "I had a successful season. I had a fantastic run." You can't. You didn't finish the race.
Hamza, if this is what you're talking about, I will raise you that, and I'll say this to you, that I've checked the numbers. There's 3 that are much worse, right? You have a situation. You have a situation where Man United had 5 points. They were 5 points clear going to the. Where is it? Let me find it. Let me show you. Man United 5 points clear. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Right here. So you have Man United 5 points clear with 4 games remaining. They still.
That's when Arteta scored the goal. I know.
Okay.
Alex Ferguson.
Then you have Newcastle. They were they're at least up to 20. They were up to 12 points clear.
Zoom in there. No, they had games in hand.
Gal, if you have to turn into a historian to save yourself,
The Newcastle one, I can.
And then you don't have to go far for this one. You also got Sleepy G.
Sleepy G is not the worst, bro.
No, but I'm just saying. We're talking about history. When we're talking about Premier League history, we literally are talking about history.
Let's say, for example, I know you. Listen, you're in a 400-meter race. Yeah. You're leading the race. Yeah. 399 meters. You're running in the race, or 395. You're running. You're leading.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
But guess what? As you get into the finish line, you fall on your face. I'm way there. I'm thinking, I'm going to win the race because you bottled it. So I'm saying you cannot be ahead of the race that long to just capitulate. So
that's not how it is, Hamza.
City, you better pray City drop points, because if City don't drop points, people are going to say, and I'm going to question, because I'll say to you, I know you're going to laugh at the Leicester one. I will always use the Leicester one and say, Albrighton, Robert Hood, Wes Morgan, Danny Simpson, Mark Albrighton. When Vardy was injured, Okazaki took over. When Okazaki was injured, Ujoa played 5-6 games by himself, and they won that league.
Okazaki was bagging for them. He's not lying. I remember that.
You better win this league, Igor. You better hope that we win the next few games. Otherwise, coming for you.
Listen, let's be practical here. Let's be realistic. Are we going to be dumb? Yeah. Are we going to be real? Hamza, I'm not calling you dumb. I'm just saying, if you expect me to sit here and tell you that Manchester City, with 2 games in hand, with the remaining 7 games, are going to drop less points than we dropped, that's ridiculous.
So you've conceded that you've lost the league,
bro. We're probably going to lose. That's the reality.
So that's until I see.
It sounds like Hamza doesn't have 100% assurance of his own team.
I'm humble. I'll wait until until we win the league, because we need to win the league as soon as possible to concentrate in the Champions League. I don't want to be going, one more game, Brentford won,
Hamza,
last. I don't want to do that.
Hamza, you're gonna win the treble this season, man.
Oh, don't tell me.
That's a big question.
Don't tell me.
No, honestly,
I'm not saying anything about that.
Man City, they're better than Real Madrid, and they look more solid this season. They're going to have learned from their mistakes last season, and they will beat Real Madrid.
Are they?
Yeah, I think they will.
This year, you know what's so different? Let me tell you about the difference. Players have come in like Akanji. I remember I told
damn, that Akanji kid is
people
so
loved
good,
Akanji. We bought him for 13 million. 1-3. Dortmund fans were saying best thing he got. I said, okay. Pep turned him to this, bro. He's confident. He's very reliable. Right back against Bayern.
Hamza, that run that he made last game, he made a run
so well against Bayern.
And we're stuck with Kukureya.
Yeah? When we lost Ake. Yeah, Pep knows to beat the Real Madrid, he needs Ake, Akanji, Diaz, Stones, Kawoka. Those are the guys.
Stones in the midfield was a little piece of genius from Pep too.
You know what, we signed 5 defense centre backs because last year he couldn't trust Laporte, he couldn't trust Stones. They can't finish the season. He said, I'm getting a 5th choice centre back. People laughed. We need a. I said, don't worry, we can switch someone there. It's worked so well. Now we have to give credit. Haaland, fantastic game. He's only 22, No striker in history, including, I'm not saying this, Henry, has ever had a performance like Haaland first season. First season, Haaland is unplayable, bro. How do you score 47 goals? How do you score 47? Kevin De Bruyne, those amount of assists, the way they play, Gando one day he's playing, Rodri, best DM in the world. These players are united. And Pep knows that he trusts these guys.
No pun intended, eh?
Yeah,
Look at
this is the guys we trust.
Staffy's head hurts. Listen, I'm just gonna say this. Does anybody have anything to say about Man City before we move on?
Yeah,
So I'd like to say, me and Hamza have been flying the Kevin De Bruyne flag for quite a while. You know, he is the best Premier League midfielder in history. To me, that's not even debatable.
What?
Yeah, he's the best Premier League midfielder in history.
Maybe the best one you've seen in your life, but it ain't gonna happen.
Listen, I know what you're thinking.
One second, everyone let him land.
Hold on,
restate everything again.
You might be thinking I might be younger than I look because I look great, but no, I'm over 30. I've been watching the Premier League since more or less day dot. So in terms of my knowledge of watching the Premier League, there is no Premier League midfielder. Any credential you want to put it on, he wins it. Yeah, longevity wins it. Yeah, in terms of quality of appearance, wins it. Best player in the best team wins it. Who we saying? Like who we saying? Because you guys want to look at me funny. Who is there that you want to put on the table right now and say this is a better midfielder?
Let me ask you a question.
Just give me one.
Is he better? Is he better than Scholes? Is he better than?
Are you mad? Are you mad?
One second. I said numerous names. You missed it. I said Scholes, Lampard. Is he better than Yaya Toure?
Yes. Okay,
he's better than Lampard.
Let me ask you this question, yeah? Like Scholes, yeah?
Lampard's my legend, but come on.
Lampard's a top player, but listen,
Hamza, you need to grow some more hair for Lampard to be a legend, man.
Lampard has nothing.
You spend so much in Turkey, please get some hair.
Listen, you can't fucking compare Scholes to KDB. Like,
there's levels to
KDB.
Lampard scored over 20 goals every season in and out.
Do you think he's in the Modric Zidane level? That's what
I think personally, I think
Zidane.
he is. But in terms of Modric having like a golden ball and stuff like that, that's what makes him. That's the difference. But listen,
you know what? We gotta throw this to the comments. Everyone in the comments.
No one's going to be. When people look at it, no one's going to be able to bring an actual logical argument. Only people retrospectively talk about Scholes. At the time, no one was talking about Scholes. No, if they were,
Jay, that's not
stop. Like I said, you are 30 years old. I'm over 40.
Let me land my point. Yeah, what I'm trying to say is that people retrospectively talk about Scholes. At the time, he wasn't winning no Player of the Years. He was barely making Team of the Years, and now people after the fact are like,
bro, that's such a weak argument, bro. That's like Pep. Hold on, it's like Pep this season having 0 manager of the month awards, but we're gonna sit here and say, because he doesn't have him, he's not top manager.
How is that the same thing? In what world is that?
Because you're talking about individual awards and Scholes. Listen, you know how football is judged by. It's judged by your goals and your assists. Listen, hold on. I'm just trying to land.
There's no chance on God's green earth that Scholes should be classified on the same level as Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne, bro, look at what Kevin De Bruyne did yesterday for that first goal.
That doesn't make
yesterday is the comparison.
Than him.
Hold on a second. Where was the KDB and Champions League final against?
What do you mean? Why are you acting like it was Scholes on his own that was doing anything for United?
Yeah, he has a Champions League.
Where was Scholes when Messi was doing
it? Let's slow it down.
When he was 37 years old.
I'm just gonna take a hand. One second. Everyone in the chat right now, if you think Kevin De Bruyne is the best midfielder in Premier League history,
we could go
KDB. If you think it's somebody else, let me know who you think it is. And Hamza, one second. Besides Hamza, besides Hamza and Jay, does anybody else on the panel agree that KDB is the best Premier League midfielder of all time?
No, he's not.
I think there's a solid argument for it. Obviously, I personally will say Gerrard, I think KDB and Gerrard are the closest
very
match.
similar to Gerrard.
Yeah, I think they're the closest match. Like Scholes is a very, very different player.
Okay.
Lampard was a very different player.
We're gonna have to move on because there's another game to talk about, which is the Tottenham.
Can I just talk about
game.
City? Can I just quickly talk about City though?
Yeah,
right.
go ahead.
I'll bring beer on all that.
Just about City. I've said this since the Centurions team, and obviously the team has changed quite a bit since the Centurions teams. But I thought the Centurions team, like Jay, I've pretty much seen the whole of the Premier League era, and I thought that City team was, by some distance, the best Premier League team of all time. It didn't win the European Cup or Champions League, but the way they dominated, the way they played football, the football they played was different than anything we've seen before. Whilst I don't think this City team is as attractive, I think they're every bit as effective. They're going to win this. They're going to win the treble, and it's going to be very, very tough for anybody to challenge them next season.
Look at Hamza's face.
Look, not even.
Listen, guys.
I'm not
guys,
saying
one quick about
honestly,
City, about De Bruyne.
love everybody, but we have to move on. We've been going for way too long. We have 71 of you guys in the chat. Make sure you hit that goddamn like button. Throw an emoji in the chat. Let me know, do you think the league title is done, or if it's not done? Everyone here right now, besides Hamza, is the league done?
Yes.
Mathematically, no. So I will not say
yes. It's done.
It's been done now. I've been saying for weeks it's over, bro.
Fair enough. Now we got to move on to the next topic. The next topic, obviously, we've been talking
Chelsea
about
getting relegated.
We've been talking about the top four for so long, but guys, today the top four was decided, in my opinion. I genuinely do believe the top four was decided with Tottenham drawing versus Manchester United, Newcastle separating themselves again, and the results that happened today. I genuinely believe that top four has been pretty much decided, and it's going to be Newcastle and Manchester United. Let's be real. But the thing that I wanted to talk about was that game that Tottenham and Manchester United just had today. Manchester United were 2-0 up. They found themselves in a situation where they were cruising. Sancho got involved in a goal. He looked like he found his form. Rashford came back from injury. You had Bruno come back from injury, surprisingly. He had a boot on. Manchester United were looking flying. And what happens? That 2-goal lead. I know a lot about that recently. And then bang, it flips on you. You absolutely dropped from there. The intensity levels dropped. Kane raised Tottenham's levels. I swear to God, I seen their manager fall on his knees and do prayer in the middle of the game. Next thing you know, everything clicked into gear. Poro top bins, even though it looked like it could have been ruled out. And then Kane picks up the ball, does a couple moves, gets it to Son, bangs it in, and tap in. Son is back in, doing his thing, and there you go. Tottenham draw the game 2-2, coming back from behind. Big result for their home fans. Big result for Tottenham, who've needed a result in a couple of days. It's not enough to get them into top four, but it's a crazy game and very anticlimactic because at the end of the day, both teams needed the win and neither team really left there with anything. Actually, Man United left there okay because they still keep that. This draw benefits Man United more than Spurs, reality.
Yeah, but the performance was very disappointing again. I had a whole rant on the terrace before I got on here. I was so angry at that performance. It's like there's been way too many of these away performances that are so just they're so disgusting, man. Like I wasn't even this angry after the Sevilla game because I knew we would lose the Sevilla game. I just knew the writing was on the wall. I wasn't angry. I knew, like, listen, when we got Maguire out of the team and Shaw's back, when we put him in that left center back position, we're gonna look a little bit better. And I was right about the Brighton game. But today it was absolutely disgusting, man. We come out the first half. This Spurs team had no intention of being there. They didn't want to be there, bro. The fans were deflated. The players didn't want to be there. You could just tell, like, listen, like, let's wrap this up. We'll give you the 3 points and just let us go home because we don't want to be here. It's too toxic. And we play a good first half. Sancho's having a good first half. Could have had a brace in the first half. Perisic cleared one off the line. You know, we scored late. Rashford with another goal. You know, it looked easy. You know, I didn't say anything, but it looked easy. And I'm like, you know what? This should be more of the same in the second half. I don't see a reason why Spurs would want to turn up. And then you see one team, bless you. You see one team coming out in the second half, Spurs, who have a little bit more in them, where they want to go and, you know, get something out of the game, not necessarily win, but at least tie the game. And Manchester United looked so slow and lethargic. Bro, the way they were holding the ball in that midfield, they're just passing around like, you know, like there's 5 minutes left on the game and they're up like 6-0 or something. There was nothing about them at all. And then the changes, oh my Lord, some of the worst changes I've ever seen in my life. We're trying to keep possession of the ball. We bring on Martial, and you're like, all right, Martial is a player who's good on the ball. You know, he plays like a false nine. He drops deep to get the ball. And then we bring on Weghorst, Malacia, and Fred. And I absolutely lost my shit. And I'm like, how are you trying to hold the ball and you bring on 3 players that don't know how to hold the ball? They're so bad. People are like, oh, but well, you can't blame Ten Hag because Ten Hag didn't tell Fred to, you know, keep misplacing the pass. No, I can blame Ten Hag because you have Marcel Sabitzer on the bench, who's clearly a better passer of the ball, who can play in the 10, play in the 6, play in the 8, and is a much better footballer than Fred. And you bring on Fred for some reason, and every time Fred gets the ball, it's going to a white shirt. And then you have Weghorst, who unfortunately, I don't blame him. He's just running around. That's what he's been told to do. So I'm like, well, if you're going to bring on these players, might as well change the tactics. But there's absolutely no tactics change. He brought on players that are known for pressing and intensity and still tried to dominate the ball. And not only that, those fullbacks were playing like 20 yards higher than they should have. And when you look at the second goal we concede, Dalot's nowhere to be seen behind Son. He's like 10, 15 yards behind Son. Malacia is out of position, and Kane is like running on our left-hand side, crossing an easy ball that he's been doing all game to Son. Son missed the same one earlier in the game. They were like, fuck it, we'll redo another one.
He didn't miss it. It was a weak shot.
It went off target. That's what I'm saying. He missed it. It was just like, it wasn't a clean hit. And then he gets the same chance. And I'm sitting there and watching. I'm like, why would you change the personnel but not the tactics? It just doesn't make sense. I can sit here and blame the players all I want. I've seen these bottle jobs all season, losing 7, 6, 4, 3 outs in away games. So I'm not really surprised. I'm just more surprised why the manager is not learning from these mistakes, because like I rate him highly, and the higher I rate you, the more I'm gonna rant like this, because you shouldn't be giving up a 2-0 lead to Spurs, who just lost 6 to Newcastle. They were down 5-0 in 20 minutes. If a team is persistent enough to score 5 goals against one side in 20 minutes, why is my side letting their foot off the gas at like halftime? It just didn't make sense to me.
Jay, what did you think of the game?
So I thought it would be a draw personally going into the game, because it's funny because when I watched United the other day against Brighton, I remember thinking, oh shit, United and Brighton are like similar level. Like I was watching that game, I was like, these two teams are of the same level.
Yeah.
And I think, me personally, first half United, like they cooked us, this and that, but we were kind of feeling sorry for ourselves. We weren't doing what we needed to do. We looked okay, but we tried, but off the ball, we looked pretty. Second half, completely different game. We absolutely cooked them. Obviously, we got a bit of luck with the Bruno chance, to be fair, because obviously Bruno could put them 3-1 up straight away. But it was positive in a way where, as a Spurs fan, I'm like, well, I know, and I know people will think I'm delusional. I know if you put a press-focused attacking manager into Spurs, Spurs will do well. Like the last 2 managers, we've misprofiled our squad. We brought in a Conte, we brought in a Mourinho. We've not given these players the opportunity to play front foot, modern football, pressing, moving forward. So, like to me, that second half was a performance where it's the players are saying, just try, have faith in yourself, just play without fear. So,
Jay, do you have the front line to be able to do that next season though? Like if you bring in a Nagelsmann.
Well, I think if you've got a Richarlison, a Kulu, a Son, a Kane as the base 4, and then you can make decisions.
You're counting Kane for next season?
Nagelsmann is coming to Spurs?
I think It's not. It'll be Nagelsmann or Slot, I think. Or
Oh,
the
you
Chelsea manager.
serious?
Yeah,
Oh,
those are the three, and they say company is the fourth. So it's probably going to be one of those four managers. So to me, that ticks what I want. Just give me a pattern-driven manager who can create good opportunities, who's going to press high, and Spurs will be good next season. We'll be at least around where United are this season. Because I'm going to be honest with you, like speaking about United, they're lucky that the rest of the top six are shit this season.
I've heard this every year.
I'm tired of hearing
somebody always drops off. No. I think to that's discrediting Man United. No. You got to give them their credit, but at the same time,
Igal, you're missing the point.
You can't sit here and say they're lucky. Yes, Liverpool fell off, Chelsea fell off, Man United fell off.
Igal, if we are the first team that United have taken a point from away from home in the top 9 of the Premier League, you're entitled to say
that's a bookie stat because they beat the best teams in the league at home.
I'm not doubting that. What I'm trying to say is normally you don't get away with losing that number of away games or straight in a row. I'm not trying to say that United aren't a good side. I'm saying that the drop-off of the teams around them has made them seem a better side than potentially they are.
Before you go, Staffy, I just want to bring Hamza in because he's probably going to pile on the same.
Staffy, so why do you think it's bullshit?
One second. Before Staffy goes, I know Hamza's going to say the same thing also. So Hamza, what are you thinking? You think United is a little overrated this season? Is that what you're saying also?
Yeah, I think. Listen, Liverpool are poor. Listen, they've taken that position so easily because everyone else is poor. Be honest. Like, Liverpool are so poor, man. With their recruitment, they got it wrong in the summer. Liverpool shouldn't be there. Yeah? So, I believe United got there because of technicality. Because if Liverpool were better or Chelsea were better, yeah, United wouldn't be there. Look, this is the worst Tottenham side. And they're not far away from United.
Hamza, you can't say that, but when we've beaten every one of these teams in our ground, I would understand if we're losing to them and then they're losing easy games.
But it's the worst.
You draw us. What do you mean you beat us?
We'll beat you next week. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's the worst Chelsea side. Everyone beats Chelsea.
We get beat by everybody, but not you, man.
That's why I didn't care. I'm like, you're easy.
We didn't beat you either. We didn't beat you either.
No.
The worst, it's the worst Chelsea side, it's the worst Liverpool side, it's the worst Tottenham side. They've got there because technicality. They played the worst Liverpool side, they got thumped 7. They got beaten 6 by us. They're not that special. Look, Tottenham with the poor side who got beaten 5 or 6 against Newcastle came back 2-2. They're not that special. Sevilla, who are fighting relegation, thumped them. They're nothing special, man.
Hamza, let me ask you: is Newcastle also there because everyone else around them dropped? Because I only hear this narrative from many.
Absolutely, but they've done well.
I don't think that
for their level they've done well. But if Liverpool were that great, you will not be there.
Hamza, you disagree that Newcastle had a better, longer team built than United?
Wait,
by building a team longer than United.
Wait, are you asking me or Hamza already said?
Yeah, you. Sorry. Man United fan. Do you think that Newcastle? Do you think Newcastle built their team longer than United as of right now?
Like it took them longer to build this team. Like they've had more time. I mean, they've had about, I would say, a little bit less than 1 season extra because I don't remember when Eddie Howe came in. It was right whenever they did the takeover.
Last season.
The takeover. Yeah, I know, but I just don't remember which part of the season. I know it was like somewhere around mid-season. Or maybe a little bit earlier than that. So he's had more time with these players.
Guys, let's not bring up Chelsea. It gives Fatura bad vibes.
But no, I just want to disagree with one thing. I understand that Man United fans do sometimes overrate their players and their team more. I'm not dismissing that at all. But I don't like this narrative where discrediting what the manager has done this year. Because this year we've only lost one. Hold on. No, I don't care. We're not going to talk about. I don't put money bags on the pitch to play. It doesn't matter.
You have. You look at the players you have on top of the players you have, and then you want to give it all the credit to the manager. No, bro, you can't do that. You
don't want me. Hold on.
The reason why United is where United
100%. 100%, because we have been adding players over players, piling up all this money for years. Hold on, man. Just let me finish. And nothing changes. We've had Ole spending 80 million on Maguire, 50 million on Bissaka, and I don't even want to continue with that disgusting list when I think of how much money we wasted on players. This guy comes in and this is nowhere near the finished article, and I'm hoping the finished article is way better than what I saw today, because today I was disgusted. But this guy fundamentally has made this team better, and the proof is in the pudding, because when you look at how we did last year, the way we played, even our wins last year, I remember the beginning of the season, Ronaldo was scoring late minute goals every game, and I knew that wasn't sustainable. I never celebrated these goals, and people would be like, why are you so negative? I'm like, I know it's not sustainable. You can't go every week trying to win the game in the last 10 minutes and not being able to put these games away, the easy games away early. This year, yeah, we're in a shaky form now, but people aren't trying to forget that period where we went mid-season, around the time we played Barcelona and all these teams and beat City on the way and all that. We were going through a nice form, and you could see that most of these players were clicking. Hold on, Rack, just let me land. Just let me land, though. Okay. That form we were going on is because you saw once the players had actually like a little bit more time with this manager and are understanding what they're supposed to do, they were putting results and points more than what they did last year anyways. So you can't say they only benefited from who's around us, because when you compare the points that we have right now compared to the last few seasons, we would be in the top 4 for most of the season. It's not an anomaly. It's not because everyone dropped off. You have Brighton going up, Newcastle going up, even Aston Villa going up.
Brighton,
but there's a difference. There's a difference, right? Don't get me wrong. You have had some shaky signings, but before Ten Hag came in, you already had a talented squad.
Yeah, and he got the best out of most of them. So I got to give him credit.
And he's augmented it, as Jay said. He's augmented that with an additional 150 million pounds ish. I don't know.
Guys, let me ask everyone here
of solid signing. So Ten Hag does deserve some credit, but the money bags, you don't put money bags on the pitch, but you use those money bags to buy world-class players.
Okay, 1 second. I want to know, everyone in the comment section, I think it's kind of ridiculous, but let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that the manager should be getting a lot of the credit, or do you think because they spent so much money, this is where they're supposed to be?
I actually think they spent so much money, it's actually ruined them.
Man United
I actually think that ruined
Man United are fourth.
No, but hold on. How well are United doing for you guys to be saying, as in like he's getting the appropriate credit for what he's doing?
Bro, the man, they haven't won a trophy in 5 years. The man won them a trophy.
They won the League Cup.
They haven't had sustained progress in the way that they play football.
Bro, they finished second less than 3 years ago.
Everyone give them a grade out. Say for example, worst case scenario, United finished 4th, right? Everyone rate that season for Ten Hag.
4th in the League Cup, 7 out of 10.
I rated a 7 out of 10. That's what I'm saying.
Second and no trophies at all.
No, they have one trophy.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying what's worse? 4th and a trophy, or 2nd and nothing?
He's taking a dig at you.
I don't mind. I don't mind. Understand. You got everyone here would probably take the trophy, but I want the progression. I want my team to progress.
Hold on.
Listen, understand, Jay, before you go crazy, understand what I'm saying. I want the trophy. I would take the trophy, and I admit that he's had a better, more successful season. But for me, I want my team to progress, and I think we're progressing to potentially winning the league. Where I don't think they're there yet.
My friends, I have been where you are, just as where Arsenal used to be. You remember, like when you built your stadium, where you are right now, 16-17, Spurs 86 points. I thought. And Harry Kane thought, that's why he signed a 5-year contract, that we were just round the corner from winning trophies. We were just round the corner from everything being great. And you know what happens? Life came and kicked my ass.
You know, Jay, I tried telling him that. All right, I tried telling him that. I think yesterday we were on a show that I might have been yesterday. And I tried to compare your situation with Pochettino, where you guys were moving up the trajectory and getting to Champions League finals. And
or what's the difference between Arsenal 2009? They finished second. How we did not
No, I'm just comparing like the most recent thing, and he thought it was like absolutely different. He thought it was absolutely different, bro. Young upcoming manager with a young upcoming team.
And the guy in the chat saying that all the money. Look, if Arsenal owner is poor or something.
Listen, did you hear what I said? All I said
I
was,
just spent 453 million.
one second. Can we all admit something? People have selective hearing here.
Plastic
I've
Russian.
admitted that winning a trophy and finishing fourth is a more successful season based on the fact that they've won a trophy and we both at the end of the day finish in the Champions League. Okay, that's one. But in the same breath, I'm saying that with the team's progression that I've seen this season, I see us challenging again next season, and I see light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm happy with where my team is. I'd rather be in my team's position where I can clearly see us challenging again, and I can see us progressing, where I don't think Man United next season are challenging. It takes a little bit more of work for them to get into the position that we're in, where it's to challenge. That's their next step. We're currently there. We're trying to push on from there. I wouldn't go back to fourth and a trophy from the stage that I'm in right now, where it was competing consistently throughout the season. That's what I'm saying.
Sacrificing the appetizer, basically, so he can get the whole meal later. That's what he
does.
does.
So you want to know something? People are going to say my season's a failure. This, that. I think at the end of the day, you can have seasons where you build towards success. It's not always every season's a failure.
Yeah, let me be honest with you. Yeah, there's been seasons that Spurs have finished second and third, and Arsenal have won an FA Cup, and the energy that you've had, or I didn't know you back then, but the energy that Arsenal fans had in relation to that is fundamentally different to what you're saying right now.
Oh yeah,
it's a little bit hypocritical, to be fair. I'm not trying to say that Arsenal haven't had a good season. They have had a good season, and you've shown progress. It's not a successful season because of where you're at. Will you get this opportunity next season playing Champions League? I heard a little rumor that you're going to be in pot 3. So
no, that's not true.
Yeah, I heard you're going to be in pot 3.
I heard that too.
Arsenal's going to be in pot 2.
Pot 3, baby. Pot 3.
No.
So you're going to have two big teams.
Are you 100% sure you finished second? Because somebody is really close to your points too.
No, that's not what he said. He was saying that he'll be in pot 2.
One second. Arsenal is likely to be in pot 3 in the Champions League coefficient ranks, provided did not win the league. Only means that they cannot play Bayern. Wait, then you could have a group of Bayern, Barcelona, and Arsenal in the Champions League next season.
Look at this shit.
Listen. I'll say this. Listen, I don't really mind. Listen, I don't really mind. Bring any team to us at this moment in time in the Champions League next season. I still think we get through to the next round. Because the reality
that's the attitude, man. That's the attitude.
The reality
I still think they can get out of the group.
If this shit-ass Chelsea team that's 11th can go to the Champions League round of 16, this shit-ass Tottenham team can go to the round of 16. You're telling me this Arsenal team next season can't do it? Get the hell out of here! Fly kick something.
Hold on a second. Did we kick Sporting into the Europa where you lost?
Bro, that's what I'm saying.
Your team is terrible. Listen, what is this delusion that you guys keep coming with? You keep saying
you Sporting Lisbon into the Europa League, who knocked you out. What are we doing here?
Bro, forget about Sporting Lisbon. Forget about everything. Your group that you were in was basically a Europa League group, and you barely finished out of it.
But you lost to the team.
You didn't even finish that group. So why you compare?
Listen, you lost on penalties. You're making it seem like penalties is the same as what it is. Let's be real. One second. Every single one of you guys right now, if Arsenal were in Tottenham's group last year, where do we finish?
Based off your results against Sporting, bottom of the group.
Bullshit.
To be honest, as I said, I don't see you guys going full strength in Europe ever, so I still can't make that judgment. I need to start seeing you guys putting your best teams against those European teams, because you haven't done it this year in the Europa League. So next year we'll see in the Champions League.
I actually think best thing for Arsenal it's keep the same level of the Premier League intensity next season.
They have to
try to do your best as long as you can for the Champions League, because it's not Europa. It's not Europa.
Listen, this is not Europa League, but I'm telling you right now, what's stopping Arsenal from getting to the quarterfinals of the Champions League next year?
Is that me or is the girl's Wi-Fi disagreeing with you?
I think that was your Wi-Fi did a mad one.
Yeah.
Okay. What's stopping Arsenal from getting to the quarterfinals of the Champions League next year?
You're a
Hey,
manager.
listen,
Egal.
Egal, it's
It's
a lot of ifs and buts.
One sec, hold on. Egal, I know it's been a while since you were in the Champions League, but the streets haven't forgotten how you used to play against Bayern Munich and stuff like that. You were the whooping
Okay,
boys.
how about this? How about this? How about this?
Stop,
This
bro.
is
You were
what I
the-
this is what I really think. 1 second. This is what I really think. Let me know.
Quarterfinals of the Champions League next year. But my aim is to try to win it. I know the mood is still down from yesterday's loss to Man City, but Arsenal have qualified to the Champions League for the first time in 6 years, ladies and gentlemen. We're back in the competition. And I'll finally be able to see Champions League football at the Emirates. We're most likely going to be in pot 2, as if we don't win the Premier League title, we don't qualify for pot 1. But it's great to be back in the biggest competition in world football, which is the Champions League, obviously after the World Cup. But I would love to get this big ears one day. And you know what? People are laughing, but the ambition is to try to win it. And this team has progressed massively, pushing Manchester City for this title race. And I really do believe that we can compete for this in maybe next season or in a year's time. If we buy the right players and we continue to progress, who's to say we can't one day compete for the champion?
Look,
That's not unrealistic.
No. Okay, Egal, look. Arsenal.
Hamza's laughing
based
because
on-
he's trying to win it this year.
No, but look, based on how
Trying to win
Arsenal
last year
performed
too.
But based on how Arsenal have performed this season, you should be confident going into it. You shouldn't. There's no reason you shouldn't be confident.
Yeah.
It won't be easy if you're in pot 3 and you've got, even in pot 3 sometimes you can get easier teams because teams drop off. Some of the teams in pot 2 aren't always quite as strong. So you can, even if you're in pot 3, you can qualify. But there is a question mark. But to be fair, if Arsenal, even if Arsenal pot 3, considering how well you've performed this season, I expect you to get through your group.
I expect it too.
You know what?
I will expect to get out.
We need to cook Chelsea for a second. Hamza, Chelsea lost.
What is cook? We're relevant. Leave us alone. We're so relevant, man.
Hamza, this is the last.
We don't bother you. You
One
don't
second.
bother us. Let us go, man.
We've talked about everybody else. We've got to talk about Chelsea.
Did we talk about Liverpool? That's my
Yeah, we
favorite
did.
topic.
Liverpool was the first topic. You missed it.
Oh yeah, I joined late.
They won anyways. It's fair. Chelsea lost 2-0 to Brentford. In case anyone missed it, Chelsea lost 2-0 to Brentford. It was the game that was happening.
Yeah,
at the
we're
same
so
time
relevant.
It was the game that was happening at the same time as the title decider, so no one really watched it.
We have Blount Mount as a forward.
Alex,
I heard Kante was a 10.
You know what?
Alex,
You know what? Let's educate ourselves on what happened in the game by looking at.
Hamza. I'm sorry.
Let's educate ourselves by looking at what happened in the game. Chelsea had 15 shots to 7, and the Azpilicueta own goal apparently was ridiculous. And then Mbeumo scored the second goal.
Bold Stratas always scores on us.
2-0. And you know what's crazy about Chelsea, guys? You know what's crazy about Chelsea? They lost to Brentford. They lost to Real Madrid. They lost to Brighton. They lost to Chelsea. They lost to Wolves.
And we have same amount of trophies as you are this season.
They didn't beat Real Madrid. They didn't beat Liverpool. They didn't beat Aston Villa. When was your last win? You didn't beat Everton.
We won 2 games this after January.
Bro, I don't know what Chelsea fans wake up to watch. I don't get it. I really don't get it.
Your last two,
because
your last win was
club.
March 11th.
March 11th.
Against Leicester.
Wow. Shocking,
But
man.
it's not even just that. It's like I was like, hey, Chelsea.
Look at the games that
You're
they've got
telling
left.
me this Chelsea team beat Dortmund in the Champions League round of 16, and you don't think this fucking Arsenal team can do that? Get out of here, guys. This team's shit.
You need heritage. You need heritage.
It's not just you just turn up. Even Spurs have Champions League final.
I just want to
heritage
update you.
years ago,
I want to
you know?
update you guys, yeah? UEFA has updated the ranking of this month, and Man City are number 1 and Arsenal number 23rd behind Frankfurt. You're 23rd behind Frankfurt. If I'm lying, go to UEFA.com website. You're 23rd in Europe. That's how much you're respected. Behind Frankfurt. We're number 1.
I respect that you even know.
Spurs are like 5th, 5th, or 7th or something.
Okay, now I like that.
I think it's the bigger conversation will be what if a Poch comes to Chelsea, win trophy, and what's his name? And
Listen,
Spurs
Alex, listen, Alex, let me tell you, as a Spurs fan, yeah, like you're getting a manager, right? Who I like, Poch, yeah.
I actually think he's decent.
He's a decent manager, but the thing is that I've watched my team play, yeah. This man is not winning a Premier League title over Arteta or Pep. I'm telling you that right now. No chance. Yeah?
Over Arteta?
Bro, listen.
No. But Pep, but obviously Arteta is substantially less qualified than Pep.
But the thing is that football's changed so much. So if you look at Poch's team, his peak team was 2017. Yeah? I'm saying we're now in 2023. Staffy knows his club turned down Poch. Yeah? In terms of like
different.
going...
What's it different? I didn't want Poch for Man United, but I think Poch is a very good signing for Chelsea for one reason. We didn't have a good foundation of players coming up that Poch would have done something with it. Poch would have had to come in. Mind you, coming to Manchester United is probably the most toxic job in the last 10 years because of the expectations.
That's great part about Chelsea job, isn't it?
No, it's toxic. It wasn't toxic when he took over. It was toxic in the end of how it turned out. When you take on the Manchester United job and you don't have any pedigree of winning, and because of the 10 years that we've had, the pressure just sinks you, bro, so bad.
Yeah.
For Chelsea, it's bad at Chelsea, but Chelsea doesn't get the same pressure that Manchester United do because they don't have the same heritage we do. Other than that, he doesn't have to go and clean up so much in Chelsea because all he has to do is go and like, bro, there's like 30 plus players. He's gonna be like, all right, let me see all this.
Yeah, but this is
not why I actually want to poach. I want Nagelsmann.
I think it's a perfect. I think it's a perfect
for us, it's
Chelsea.
the best. The reason why I want Nagelsmann over Enrique Iglesias because I don't want that kind of. I don't like that kind of style of play game. I don't like tiki taka.
What are you doing, DJ N1? Come
what
on.
I'm trying to say with those with coaches, everybody pays attention to what he did at Tottenham. I don't look at it, even though he made. If you look at him, he didn't have 2 years of signings.
That's what I said.
What other thing that he didn't have at
no. Because what we're
the reason why I'm hold on, let me land. You've been landing and crashing for the past 5 minutes.
Let him land. Because let's be honest,
the reason why I wanted Nagelsmann or Poch because we have a young enough players that not established players. They need the coach. They don't need the manager. If we had the complete back in Roman, then we need the manager. Now we need the coach that actually can progress. Everybody keeps saying like we have spent that much money. Good for you. You count somebody's pockets. But look, at the end of the day, Felix, not Felix. What's his name? That midfielder, Enzo. It's not a finished product. It's not finished product. The money does not shows that he's the finished product. We need somebody with the good direction, and Poch does that. I'm not looking at the Tottenham. I'm looking at it further than that. What he did at Southampton when he frauded his players onto the Liverpool's head, and they made them look so good that Liverpool went. You know what? Let's go get all of them.
Bro, they forget the people that he's found. Mane, he had Schneiderlin, he had Wanayama.
He didn't have Mane wasn't under Poch. He got Mane with Poch.
I'm just gonna say this: Pochettino worked for Spurs is not a legitimate reason not to want him.
Yeah,
because he works for Spurs is not a legitimate reason.
And I don't blame any manager goes to PSG either. There's not one.
I agree there. I think Pochettino might not be the person that you guys want in the long term, but for the short term, he's perfect. I think he's destined for failure because Chelsea don't set up managers for a long time.
No, you can't say that again.
Managers for long times. He's going to have to build from the ground up as much as he can, and to have a vision. If he doesn't have a vision for the next 3 to 4 years on how they can progress, and to see the players and the style of play and everything else going, honestly, they might not have the patience for him.
Let me just add quickly on Poch, because obviously I know Poch like the back of my hands. Like he was my manager for 5 years. What I'm trying to explain is that in terms of football and how football progresses, the main reason I didn't want Poch is because I don't know what his team looks like in 2023, because it's been 2019 that he managed in the Prem. He went to PSG. You've got certain players, so it's hard to set up your team in a certain way. There's an element of risk when you're looking at like a company, or you're looking like a De Zerbi, and you're looking at how these people progress the ball and how they build from the back. My memory of Poch is he doesn't do that. He doesn't have that. He's not a tactician in that way. So to me, my question is, has football moved on to a point whereby a gegenpress-focused manager, and Poch was to a large extent a gegenpress manager that had slightly better stylistic build-up, I don't know how modern and relevant that formation is. We're going to find out, but that's my main concern. I agree he's a good fit for the players and he's going to improve the players and he can coach them well. But in terms of how, like, as a Spurs fan, I always used to watch Poch and we used to play games away from home against the top 6 teams and we almost never used to win. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because you have a budget of the Levy. That's the reason.
Bro, don't listen. We weren't winning away, even when we had that 16-17 side or the 15-16. We just weren't winning away from home. And
man, I swear, even Tottenham fans are slightly look at the transfer market of when Poch was at Tottenham. Just look at who he got at those times.
Well, look at our team.
Let me just stop you guys there. There's 2 people who haven't added their 2 cents on the Chelsea situation. Hamza, you said Nagelsmann doesn't scare you. Does Poch scare you?
No. Pochettino, I think, for caliber like Chelsea, he can unite them. But is he a guy that can get them the major trophy? I don't believe it. I don't think so.
I just hope that when Bold Fraud leaves City, we will be good enough to challenge at that time. Because Pep leaving, man.
I don't think so. I think you've got a manager who has. This is when I know your boards are not serious. Your board is
scared. You're going to be better than Arsenal next season, Alex?
Yeah, I do.
No.
I'm willing to put $100, but you don't bet.
I wanted them to get Luis Enrique, but they didn't.
I'll take that bet.
I'm not offering you. I'm offering Igal. He's Arsenal fan.
I told you.
What about me, Alex?
What about you? Isn't it haram? Isn't it you?
He doesn't really want to do this bet.
You see, you even choked.
You know when you're about to go into a fight,
I'm just gonna say this. Rakesh, do you think Pochettino is a good manager for Chelsea? Do you think
no, seriously. All the reason why I'm doing it is not for shits and giggles. I really wanted it bet. I will put
1 second, Alex. Do you think you're gonna beat us at the Emirates on Tuesday?
I think the best thing we can do is draw. I'm just here so thankful for Hamza boldness that we don't have to give you a welcome interest into this guard of honor.
You know what, Igal?
We're supposed to give you a guard of honor, man.
You know what, Igal? Your team hasn't won ever since you added me to your panel. I noticed that. So I might be the bad luck here. You added me after the Liverpool
Why would you
game.
say that though?
Bro, because every week he asked me for an Arsenal prediction after the Liverpool game, and I'm like, no, you guys will bounce back. No, you guys will bounce back. And every time you've seen what happens. So, Igal, I don't know, like whoever's gonna pay me the most right now is gonna get my best answer. So, Alex, if you want to win, let me know. I'll just repeat the same thing.
No, what do you honestly believe? You don't believe we're gonna win?
No, I honestly believe you will win. But I didn't want to say that until someone like Venmos me some money first. I think Arsenal wins.
Bro, what are we doing here? Man's want guys to cash app him just to make predictions. What's going on?
Since I have reverse judge going on over here.
You're moving like Astrid Webb, bro.
Yeah,
why even you know that name? Why do you even know
because she's
the name?
all over Twitter, bro. Like
she's all over socials. She's mad
annoying, bro.
I know Johnny is even responding to her. I was like, dude, man, Johnny United.
Bro, I would be embarrassed to be a Chelsea fan just because of her. She's the only thing worse than your season. The only thing worse than your season is her.
Actually, still horrible.
I actually think they should block pornography on Twitter. And then because it's getting ridiculous at this point.
Unless the titties match our expectations, then we can leave them alone.
Where the hell did that come from? Okay, guys.
She's just
the last prediction of the day: Liverpool, Tottenham. Who's gonna win that game?
Liverpool.
Listen, Ryan Mason's got something for you. You know, come play that high line against us. Listen, jokes aside, they gave up 2 goals to Nottingham Forest. Yeah, like we can score.
No.
Liverpool at home is not a joke.
Rocky, you guys are at home, right?
Listen. I don't think they're a joke.
This
Listen,
is draw written all over.
Don't forget.
Liverpool win.
Winning the
Liverpool
title
statement
last
win, bro.
Nah. I want my flowers. Hamza, don't remember the favor we did for you last season at the end of the
I'll never
season.
forget it. Yeah.
Oh, don't worry about it. For you,
The
baby,
Liverpool one.
anything. For you, baby, anything. But my
Yeah,
point is,
because Man City, Tottenham, for some reason, are Man City's kryptonite. It's weird.
because
I
the
just
Lord
want
the Lord has given
Just like Didier Drogba used to be
so
Arsenal.
much. Yeah,
Yeah, I
They
hate that
know
bold
that's the one match that they allow us to win.
I just want Alex. Alex, get me the favor. Get a point.
You know. I never smiled more at a tweet than when I seen the tweet of Didier Drogba saying that he doesn't recognize Chelsea. I was so happy.
You're a sick man. You're a bit of a sick man, aren't you?
I
I'm
was
not
gonna
gonna
ask,
lie.
I was gonna ask everybody over here, what's your most hateful club? Every fan has the club that they hate the most. And
Look at his face. Wallahi, I'm so happy. I want to slap his bald
Oh
head.
my God!
I want to slap his bald
you
head.
have to jump, Igal. You have to jump to reach
Alex,
it.
I would
What do you mean,
say,
bro? I'm taller than Drogba, bro.
I would
are?
say, what?
No.
so
Not the way I
you're
saw
not
you on
taller than
TikTok
Drogba.
dancing, man.
How tall are you again?
How tall is Drogba? 6'1"?
He's thinking it back. He doesn't want to say anymore.
Drogba must be at least like 190.
Nah,
I
yeah,
expect
I'm
him to
not
be
taller than
190.
Drogba. I lied. 9'6".
Igal talks about height like he does his content. Leave it
Bro,
out
listen,
there. Anything he gets, it's all right.
Usually, fat
I'm
people
not
doing
6'2".
selfies
I'm
from
not
above,
6'2" with 2 inch
short
heels,
people
bro.
doing selfies from the bottom.
Listen, I'm not 6'2". Listen, it is what it is. Rack, what's your prediction for the Liverpool Tottenham game before we move on? Honestly, this has been an amazing stream. This has been good vibes.
We're still not great. Tottenham are pretty. I mean, the first half today was all pretty awful. And although they came back in the second half away from home, I question whether they can step up.
Where's the game?
To be fair, I question whether
Liverpool.
we can step up, but I think we'll win 2-0.
Yeah, it's a game at Liverpool. Yeah, probably.
I think we score. I think we score. But I see Liverpool winning 2-1, 3-1, maybe. Yeah.
I think with the way Liverpool played, they don't take their foot off the gas like we did. But yet again, they're also not going to have a clean sheet because
Liverpool have back-to-back games. They have 2 games.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I think
Liverpool
actually
knows how to stop playing. Like, we don't know what breaks are during the game.
Yeah, they're always playing at the same tempo. That's what I'm saying. They're going to
Did
concede.
Jota start the last game?
Jota did start. Yeah, oh wait, sorry,
yeah.
not yesterday's. I don't know about yesterday's.
Because I'm thinking
Jota
about
started.
fantasy. But you know what? It is what it is. Yeah, that's it. No, honestly, I was gonna say Newcastle Everton. If you guys wanted to talk about Isaac's goal quickly, assist. That was.
I didn't
crazy.
see it. I just saw that he dribbled the whole
I
pitch
missed it.
though. Yeah, I heard he dribbled the whole pitch. That's it.
Yeah, you know what? There's not much else to talk about. Newcastle are just got Everton relegated, in my opinion. Everton are probably gonna get relegated.
They're
Yeah.
garbage. Get them out of here, bro.
I thought
I'm still thinking.
I thought you said Chelsea is gonna get relegated. No, it was the other guy.
I never said Chelsea's gonna get relegated.
No. There's the other guy. The old guy came.
Thomas Tuchel basically kept you guys up. You guys.
Yeah,
should have
that's
never,
what I'm saying. They should
You
be
guys should have
grateful.
never sacked Graham Potter. If you're gonna bring in
Oh
Lampard,
yeah,
why
they
did
should.
you sack
Oh
Potter?
yeah, they should. Oh yeah,
Why
they
did you
should.
It was
sack
too.
Potter if
It
you're
was
gonna-
too toxic.
Lampard's
again.
worse.
Egal, 20-2, Egal. You have to
Lampard's
have some
worse.
kind of.
Lampard,
It's-
bro,
It's like
bro,
you let him.
Ryan Mason's better than Lampard.
But that's
Yeah,
not.
it's not
Oh,
hard.
are we appointing Lampard as a permanent manager?
It's
No,
not
but
hard to
even
be
as
better
an
than
interim-
Lampard, bro.
No.
Even as an intern, you should have
I actually think. Yeah, I agree with you. When they should have sacked him earlier than what they are.
bro. You would be better with Big Sam as intern.
Were
yeah,
you
100%.
were you gonna give me a guarantee if we wouldn't sack Potter, they will like maybe we should give him a little bit more time in the beginning of next season.
Oh yeah, you don't want that. You're right.
Yeah, thank you.
But
Finally,
I think,
me and you on the same page.
I think Potter no matter what, was destined for failure because of your high expectations that Thomas Tuchel set. You always needed that stopgap manager to get sacked before the next project.
No, Igal, no. You don't understand. Chelsea fans are agreeing to give him time. How much time? Like, if it was Roman, the guy will be flown back immediately before the December, man.
No, that's
20
fair.
in 2.
That's fair. You know what, guys? We've gone over an hour and a half. We're gonna end it there. I'm just gonna say, Jay, are you there? Jay, are you there? Jay, are you there? Jay, I just want to show you guys Tottenham's protest was hilarious. Did you see it? Did you see Tottenham's protest, guys?
Oh my God.
Somebody played violin.
This was Tottenham's protest. Empty.
So yeah, someone did have a violin. There was street performers there.
This
I couldn't believe it.
This was Tottenham's
protest, fam. What's going on here, fam? What's this? What's this? What's going on here? Nah, you lot are jokers, man.
It looks like a Glazers.
This is embarrassing, fam. No one's even shouting.
No, the Glazers ones.
Embarrassing, bro. You lot are joking. Why is everyone applauding?
They were having a concert last time, remember? Listen, anyways, Jay's already gone. We're out of here, guys. Rakesh is tapped out. Big up Alex for jumping in for Bice. Hamza's actually shown his face for majority of the stream. Big up to Hamza. Big up Staffy. You have a good one. And Jay, I'll catch you after you lose to Liverpool. Big up everyone. We're out of here. Peace.